There are a few things better than coffee, but I have to say, coffee in a Christmas mug definitely tops the list. But okay, that's still coffee, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. I broke out a Christmas mug. Well, I purchased it a couple of days ago from Zara Home, of all places. I don't like Zara. I don't shop there. I used to, but I don't anymore. I make a point not to, because honestly, the clothing is not even great anymore. Like you just walk in there and you know it's going to fall apart. But anyway, Zara Home, I feel like has a little bit higher quality. I made an exception because this was very nostalgic to me. This is a Christmas mug that was too cute to pass up. Hello? You see this? With all these little snowmen? It reminds me of a mug that my grandmother used to have. My mom has it now. So whenever I'm at her house, my parents' house, I like to drink all of my hot beverages out of that mug. It is so cute. It literally is exactly like this. I feel like it took inspiration from it almost because it had hippos all around the mug. My grandmother really loved hippos. She had like hippos all over the house, which I thought was really funny. It was her favorite animal. And this one mug was so cute. It was very similar. It had a bunch of hippos kind of parading around the mug, and it had a hippo eating cake, a hippo holding balloons, and a party hat. It was just really cute. And so I saw this and I was just like, you know what? I have to buy it. So I did. I also like that it looks like a tin mug, but it's actually ceramic, so it doesn't burn my hands like crazy. I love the look of tin mugs, but I can never drink anything out of them because they just absorb the heat and then radiate the heat. You can't hold the mug. So that was not how I wanted to start this video. Hi, can you tell I'm excited to talk to you guys today? That was really random. Welcome here. If you're new here, my name's Bethany. I'm the girl behind Will of Knits. Have to say that. I wanted to sit and chat with you guys. I wanted to knit and chat, or also, do a little show and tell podcast type. I don't really know what I want to do, but I know that I have some time in between naps today, so I wanted to sit down and record. And be honest, I've been trying to do this for a long time. I feel like I started out trying to do a vlog. And if you guys, film anything, okay, I was about to go on a tangent. Anyway, all you really need to know is that I have been trying to film something kind of in a Vlogmas style type spirit, because I feel like with the holidays approaching, vlogging is kind of fun. Picking up the camera and putting together a video is kind of festive in a way, and I really enjoyed doing extra videos last year, and I wanted to do something along the same vein, but it just wasn't working out. So after many attempts, I'm sitting down and we're just gonna do a classic old little hangout. I want to just catch up with you guys and talk about whatever's on my mind, because apparently there's a lot of random stuff on my mind. Before we get started though, I do want to talk about what I'm wearing, because I know I will get questions about it. This is the controversial sweater on this channel. We had a debate last year or earlier this year, sometime, about what color this sweater really is. This is the North sweater by Hip Knit Shop. It is knit in a combination of their mohair and their wool, their merino wool. And I call it like brown. It's gingerbread. So when I think of gingerbread, I think of brown, but it has a reddish hue. But I wouldn't call this a red sweater. Many of you would call it a red sweater, and some of you would even call it an orange sweater, which, no. It is either brown or red. It's a reddish brown, in my opinion. But anyway, I knit this sweater a while ago, and I just thought it would be a festive one to put on. It's definitely Christmassy, so in the spirit of the holiday season, I think it's a perfect fit for today. I put it in the washing machine, actually, when I broke it out of storage, and it felt it a little bit. I think it even kind of shrunk, or at least all the fibers really stuck together. So it's much warmer, I think. I think it's even warmer than it was before. So I hope it won't melt in this. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Hip Knit Shop and their fibers. The pattern itself was also really nice to knit. It was a bottom-up sweater, which was my first and kind of only time knitting a bottom-up sweater. I don't know how I feel about it because you have to knit the sleeves from the bottom up, obviously, and join that instead of working from top down. I definitely prefer a top-down yoke. I just feel like it's more seamless, easy to continue on in a project, whereas when there are these little extra steps that you have to put down parts of a project, that's when I stall on a project. So I find top-down sweaters get finished as opposed to some of those other projects that once you get to a step that you're just like, I don't feel like doing that right now, then that stalls the project. You know what I mean? I think you can relate. I did a modification to the pattern and just didn't knit the full collar, which kind of made it into this little mock neck style sweater, which I really like. Definitely prevents any itchiness factor, because now that I've washed it in the washing machine, I definitely feel like the fibers have just gotten itchier together, whereas before it really was not. So I really should have just hand washed it, but I was a little impatient. But yeah, you live and learn. Putting this sweater on though, and taking all my other sweaters out of storage made me realize how much I really need a refresh in my wardrobe. I just really need more new hand knitted sweaters because I also kind of refuse to buy store-bought sweaters. I have a couple, but in principle, I kind of refuse to buy them from the store because I have one of those moments where it's like, you know, I can make that myself and I can choose the fiber that I want to use and like have fun shopping with it too. So it's much more of an experience than just ordering a finished sweater. I don't know. It just, the whole process of making the sweater brings me more joy, but then it'll take probably a full year before it's in my closet. So I'll have to wait until the next season and not enjoy it right away. Yes, very chatty. Oh my gosh. Well, it's been a while, so I'll give myself some grace there. Right. So what have I been working on? And what do I have to knit on while we're talking? I have a very festive sweater here. This is the Festival sweater by Petite Knit. Yes. You know, that it is what it is. I'm going to be knitting on other designers in the new year for sure, but for now, Petite Knit this is the year of Petite Knit for me. And I will continue to knit her sweaters because she makes very good patterns. So here is where I'm at with this little sweater. This was not in my plan at all. You can take the fall knitting plans video that I put together and the plans that I put together and just throw that out the window because I'm really not following it and it's basically winter now. So there's that. But so for the fall knitting plans video, I said that I wanted to knit Arthur another stuffed animal for Christmas. For his first Christmas, I wanted the gift to be a hand knitted stuffed animal. But then I've been working really hard on his father's sweater for Christmas. And I was thinking, you know, this Christmas, it's more about what we remember as parents versus what he remembers as a child, because he's only going to be 3 months old. And he's really not in a playing sort of stage. He observes his surroundings and he interacts with us. But as far as like toys go, he doesn't really, he doesn't play like the traditional way. He looks at things and he observes what they're all about. So I was thinking, you know, I could wait on the stuffed animal because I really would love to have a Christmas sweater for him. And I want to start that tradition. Oh gosh, this is a tangled mess. Whatever, I'm going to have to worry about that later. Hopefully as I knit, it will untangle itself. Or it just won't matter. But yeah, I want to start that tradition where I knit him a sweater every year for the holidays. And if I didn't do it this year, this is the time when I'd probably have the most time, the best opportunity to knit him something. So I should take full advantage. And again, I've been taking pictures of him in his hand knitted items for all of his milestones. So the sweaters that he fits into for each month of his life, I've been taking those, you know, those classic 1 month, 2 month, 3 month photos. And I think this would be the perfect sweater to have for his 3-month photo shoot that's coming up very soon on the 21st. And yeah, so then I decided, you know what? He's going to get the tiger later when he's a little bit more aware of what he's got in his toy box. So that was a good compromise because it was also something I was really excited to knit up. And I had the yarn for it in stash because we know I'm stash busting. So that makes this sweater very unique. I'm really trying to make this sweater work because I'm not using the recommended needle size. I'm not using the recommended yarn. I'm kind of just going with it. I did some quick math because I'm using yarn that's much thicker. I'm using double Sunday instead of Sunday by Senna's Garn, which I was originally going to use for the Ingrid sweater that I knit him as part of my baby knitting marathon. Oh gosh, this is so annoying. Oh my gosh, it's so tangled in there. As part of my baby knitting marathon, I picked up this yarn to knit up the Ingrid sweater. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, do I really want to work on something so intricate in white and then have him spit up all over it and get it dirty immediately? And you know what? I really shouldn't have worried about it too much because so far I've been pretty good at preventing him from ruining all of the knitted items or, you know, just spitting all over them. I mean, he can wear bibs and stuff. It's not impossible to take care of a knit for a baby. So I really wish I would have just like gone with this instead of purchasing extra yarn and then having this pile up in my stash. But it all worked out because now I'm working on this sweater and I had this just on hand, which is good. And it's always nice to have yarn on hand because then you can just get started with a project instead of, you know, having to order and then wait and then lose steam on whatever project you wanted to cast on. So I'm thankful in a way that I had this. And then I also had all these other colors that I had purchased for another project earlier this year. These are all by Rico Design, or not this one. This one's actually yarn that I had in stash from Cardiff Cashmere. It's that sweater that I was working on at the start of 2022. It's this nice green color. I am not sold on it for me, but the sweater's almost done, so I'm going to finish it. But it is a really nice color for this sweater. I thought all of these are really pretty and very festive. So I had green, blue, red, reddish pink, some yellow, and some dark blue too. And I will use all of them for the sweater. So I get those out of my stash too. Granted, I'm not really using too much of the yarn for the contrast colors because it's only one row and it doesn't take up that much yarn, but it feels good to even just use a little bit of it, you know? I am holding it double, so I'm using a little bit more. And now, holding that double, having a double sundae, which is basically 2 strands of sundae held together, that means that my needle size had to go up, as well as, which in turn made the gauge of the sweater go up. So I'm just knitting the smallest size and hoping for the best. I still think it's going to be wildly too big, just huge, because this is a circular yoke. I still have one more round of increases to go. And this, I think I could just stop maybe with the increases and go from there. Because this might actually fit him now. But then again, I kind of want it to last a little bit longer than just for now. Get a couple more wears out of it. It'll still be wearable, I think, even after the holidays. It's definitely a cute sweater, I think, to put babies in. So, oh my God. I'm just going to cut this off. There we go. I'm going to use a new strand just to prevent all of that mess from happening. It's too far gone anyway. All right, so pull this out. Perfect. Yeah, so that's really what I've been up to. This was a cast on maybe a week ago. I was just like, oh, I'm making great progress on my zipper sweater, so I should stop doing that, put it on hold, of course, and work on something else. Oh, I always get that way with projects, you guys. It's like nearly done. If I would have just given it my full attention, it would be done by now, but it's not. It's sitting here right in front of me. You know what? I'll show you while I have it here and while I have you here. Here. It hasn't been completely ignored. I will be honest with you. I am very close to being done, so I'm not panicking at all. We still have plenty of time until Christmas from when I'm recording this, and it will get done because I'm on the ribbing now. I'm doing so good. And that's why I started that other project, because I was like, you know what? You're doing a great job, Bethany. You should really cast on something else and work on something new. Yeah, so the zipper sweater, this is another petite knit pattern. This is from my fall knitting plans video, so I at least did one of the projects. This is going really great. I really like the yarn that I'm using. I'm using Drops Nepal, this mix right here. I had so many balls in my stash. I was almost kicking myself because I already have so much yarn. I ordered like 15 plus skeins of this because for men, it takes a lot of yarn to knit for men. Goodness gracious. But I'm happy to say I only have 3 skeins left. And I don't think I'm going to need all of it. I haven't really looked at the instructions past the ribbing, but I do know that I have these stitches on hold right here, and I will just have to knit some extra fabric to be able to insert the zipper, which I also have. Hold on. It came in this very crinkly bag. One second. There we go. So I ordered it directly from Petite Knit Shop. I've actually ordered from her web shop before. I got some wool wash and some of those cords that you stick stitches onto, like you can attach to the needle and then you can try on your garment. Really love those. They're really nice as just stitch holders as well. I like to use them for that. But here I have a little postcard of what it looks like. You can't really see that because of the paper or the plastic. But here it is. So this is the zipper that's used in the sample, which was really important to me because I really liked how professional it looked, how chic it looked. It definitely is a lot nicer than a lot of the zippers that I can find at my local craft store. So here you can see. I really love that little dangle. It's just really good quality. I think you can really just tell that the zipper, I hope, is gonna last. And it was also important to me in that way to order what was recommended or what was used, because now I have no doubts that it's going to fit the opening, first of all. And then, so I don't have to do like any modifications. I'm not too worried about inserting the zipper to this project because I've done it before. I did it with the zipper onesie modification that I did on the Sunday suit. And, it really wasn't all that difficult to do. It was just a matter of, blocking. It was really important to make sure that my piece was blocked very well so that where I wanted to sew in the zipper was flat. So then I could evenly sew that in, like hand stitch it in. I don't know if I necessarily did the right hand stitching method to that zipper, but it holds pretty well. So I'm going to do the same for this too. I'm not too worried about the body. So last time I was talking to you, I was talking about how I wasn't sure if the body was going to fit properly, like that it might be a little slim. But then I kind of compared it to some zip-up hoodies that he has that are not as nice as this one, more like jogging zip-ups. And those were quite slim. So I know he likes those more form-fitted to his body. He's not like me that loves an oversized fit. I don't know how many guys really do. But for him, he really likes hoodies that are pretty form-fitting. And this seems to compare very well. So I think after blocking, I'll get a little bit of extra wiggle room in there. So then we'll be perfectly fine. So I'm not really worried about the size anymore. That was something that I was unsure about before. I guess the only thing that's up in the air is the zipper and if it will block and dry in time. I think that is where I might go past my deadline. But as far as it staying a surprise, I really think that he doesn't know, which is pretty amazing. I'm very happy because last year when I was knitting him a hat, he figured that out real fast. And it doesn't spoil it for me, but it definitely makes me excited for him to open up the gift. Because we actually said that we weren't really going to do big gifts this year. And I keep telling him, I haven't ordered anything yet. I really don't know what to get you. I haven't bought you anything. I haven't ordered anything to come in. And I keep telling him that. So I think he's going to be surprised when this was his all along. So that just makes me really excited. It's not important, but it's the little things, I'm not looking forward to doing Italian bind off on the bottom rib, but you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. So I think I'm in good shape to finish this before the weekend, and then I'll wash and block it, and hopefully starting next week, which is the week before Christmas, I think it will be dry so then I can sew in that zipper. We might make it to crunch time. Who knows? But yeah, that's the update on my zipper sweater. And I'm very excited that I'm able to get that done. So since that was going so well, I was like, you know what? I can't not give my son a sweater for Christmas. And, we're not going to wrap it up for him or anything. He's definitely going to be put in this a couple of times before Christmas if I manage to finish it. But we'll see. So, how are you guys doing? Are you doing well with your gift knitting? I hope it's going well for you also, and that you're not too stressed out about it, because honestly, this time of year is just stressful enough, whether it's, cooking for a large family or, I don't know, whatever you need to do. The holidays always seem to be a very busy, stressful time of year. So I hope you're not adding extra stress on yourself to do these gift knits, and that it's something that is bringing you joy more than pain. Because I definitely know it could also be pain too. Whether it's for gifts or maybe it's just for fun, like you're done with schoolwork or off of work for the holiday season and you have some extra knitting time. feel like we can also get carried away. But I hope it's not too bad for you and it's all positive things and knitting is not becoming a chore. So what else have I really been knitting on? Because honestly, I just started this one not too long ago, but I did. So I was working really hard on the zipper sweater, but I also had a very random week of sock knitting where I was just knitting all kinds of socks. I finally know what it felt like to have some sock knitting mojo, which just felt amazing. It all started with those bear paw socks that I shared with you guys. I was knitting up the red and blue combination, which turned out really nice. I finished them and I don't have them here with me and I've been wearing them a lot. So they're already having evidence of wear because of the yarn that I chose to use. Since I was pulling it from stash and I didn't know exactly the combination or like the fiber content of the red yarn, if I would have known, I think now that I'm remembering, I think there was some alpaca in there somewhere. Something is in that yarn that's making it not as durable as sock yarn should be, unfortunately. But I'm happy that I made them anyway. They're just house socks. So if they fall apart, that's okay. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm just happy to have those socks, honestly, because my feet have been very nice and toasty ever since I finished them. So then I finished those and I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep on knitting socks. That's what I wanted to do. And so I started actually another pair of bear paw socks. I wanted to do that challenge. It was a weekend knit along challenge for Andrea Mowry, Drea Renee Knits, her bear paw sock. I think she does something every year. I'm not one to really follow knit alongs. I don't post for knit alongs and stuff like that. Mainly because I can never finish the project and I know that won't happen. Anyway. So I was thinking, oh yeah, socks, that could actually work. So I cast on a pair with some yarn that I had already caked up. It was Garthenor sock yarn, and I actually will share. Oh, I think it's actually in here. Yeah. Okay. I knew I'd put them in here. So I only finished one sock, but it actually turned out really nice. This is some yarn that I just had caked up in my stash and obviously wanted to use it. This yarn here is very rustic. It definitely feels much more rustic than the first pair that I made, which was using Filcolana and then that other yarn that's not meant for socks. But this is definitely meant for socks. And this will definitely hold up really well. And that's kind of what I wanted to do after. That's why I chose this yarn for this project, because I was like, this is very rustic. I don't think I would wear them in shoes. Then again, I don't really wear any of the hand knitted socks that I make out. I really only wear them around the house. But I just knew that it would be really nice for this DK weight project because I had a lot more of this yarn than what I normally would need for a regular pair of socks because I was going to use it as a gift. I was going to knit socks for the men in my family with this. And then I kept feeling the yarn and I was like, I don't think the people who were going to receive it, my dad and my brother, I don't think that they would like it. I don't think, one, that they would take care of it properly. And two, I don't think that they would like the itch factor. I will say that it's really not that bad, but if you don't like itchy wool, you're just not going to like it. And I want them to wear the things that I make. So When this is on my feet, I actually think that it feels pretty soft, but when it's in my hands right now, it definitely feels itchy. So I feel like they would also feel that and be like, do I want to put this on my feet? And maybe not try to wear them. So I had one cake and I have a whole other hank that I need to cake up, which is why I didn't finish the second sock, because I moved on to the other cake of yarn that I had. And this one is just a sock that I made up on my own with the toe up method, because I actually really enjoyed knitting this sock from the toe up. So Andrea Mowry's, both her everyday sock and her bare paw socks are knit toe up. Using this really cool technique for this heel, which I want to knit more often because I think it fits me really nicely. Do you see that? I don't have Instagrammable feet. My feet are quite long and large, so I won't be inserting any pictures of what it looks like on me. Just check out the pattern. You'll see Andrea Mowry. She has really nice feet for this sock. She's a great foot model, not me. These look like casts. This looks like a cast on my foot. Very bulky, very large, but very comfortable and very warm. So that's all it really needs to do for me. It doesn't need to make my feet look fantastic or skinny. But anyway, I used the same toe up method and then just kind of did my own thing with it. Kind of measured it against my foot. And then I did a German short row heel and just kept knitting. So this was the other yarn that I had. I had it in two colors, the darker and the lighter, and both of them were caked up already. So I just knit one of each and then used this leftover red that I have in my stash from another pair of socks that I made last year. Same Garthenor Snowdonia sock. I still need to cake up those other socks or cake up those other hanks. And so I can get more. I can knit the other socks. Okay, I'm losing steam here. I'm forgetting what I'm talking about. There's just so much to share. So I need to cake up the other two hanks so that I can work on the next sock of each pair. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I think I just need a whole caking marathon so that I have it readily available. So that was a weird tangent that I went on knitting-wise, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And my sock knitting mojo has been very great. I also finished a pair. Of some more just everyday socks by Petite Knit. So that's my normal go-to vanilla sock pattern. I just shorten the cuff, or I shorten the leg and thicken the cuff, make it a thicker cuff and a shorter leg for some like kind of shorty socks, like mid-length shorty socks, a little bit longer than short socks. And that works really well for me, both knitting wise and what I like to wear on my feet. So I recommend that. I'll insert some footage of that too. Those socks really got me going because I was knitting in a stripe pattern. I really like knitting stripes. I feel like it really keeps my interest because I'm always looking forward to changing the next color. So I'm very engaged in the project. And then it also helps me see the finish line of a project. So I've been really into stripes right now. And I'm wondering if maybe color work, I could, move on to another type of color work for the same reason that maybe it would keep me engaged in a project. So I've been looking at some projects, which I don't know if I should go into it now. We're kind of already all over the place here. We have been definitely keeping it cozy over here and getting in the Christmas spirit, decorating, of course. And it definitely feels very festive in comparison to last year, now that we have our little baby. I don't know, just babies bring a new dimension to the holiday season, I think. So that is a really fun. And, it's just been really great over the past couple of weeks, couple of months, 3 months almost. Being a parent to this little boy. I think it's getting even more and more fun. As we're progressing through the newborn stage, it's really cool just to see him discover things and interact with his surroundings, interact with us. He's cracking smiles. We haven't gotten a laugh yet, but I think it's coming soon. And he's showing signs that he's ready to roll over. So there are just different milestones that he's about to reach. So that plus the holiday time, I just think it's a really exciting period for us. And yeah, we're really happy. I think this is honestly a really great time to have a baby in the house because it's so cold outside. It's in the negatives at night, negatives Celsius. And we just need to bundle up, wear lots of sweaters, stay at home. I mean, you kind of have to with a newborn and the sicknesses going around like cold season. Definitely a time to stay in the house. But then when you have a newborn that's so young, you're kind of staying at home by default. So this is a really good time. And it's just cozy as well. So this is a really perfect period, I think, to have a newborn. We're definitely tired these days. I don't know how tired I look. I probably do look exhausted. And I know that, and I'm okay with it. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But, I don't want to jinx anything. And I know I will as soon as I say something, but I'll risk it. Is that we've been actually getting some decent sleep at night. So thank goodness for that. Definitely helps power through the rest of the day. And but even when you're super tired, seeing him like smile and reach all those milestones, like I said, it's so worth it. It's just so cool. But I think we're reaching the end of nap time. So unfortunately, I have to go. Thank you guys so much for sitting and knitting and chatting with me, listening to me ramble on about all of these projects. I definitely had a lot to share. I hope I didn't overwhelm you, and I kind of felt like I was a little bit of a tornado, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked getting completely assaulted by all the knitting information that I had to share. All of this excitement that I have for these projects. I hope you are also knitting on something that's making you very excited, or, just working on whatever it is that is bringing you joy. Especially now, I feel like with cozy season in full swing, you need something to kind of keep your hands busy and look forward to finishing. And I hope you finish some of those projects, and I hope they don't all just end up in a UFO pile, which I think that will be a video I need to make to address some of the things that I've just left languishing. But that's for the new year, I think. I hope that we can catch up again very soon. If not, I wish you guys a happy holiday season. Whatever holiday you are celebrating right now, I hope you're enjoying it. And I hope you get to spend time with those that you love and knit on some really cozy projects. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. That would really help me out. Maybe subscribe if you want to stick around. I would love to have you here and catch up with you guys more frequently whenever I have the time in between naps, although those are getting shorter and shorter these days. So as he is discovering all those milestones, making all those milestones, that also means I'm gonna have a much more active baby on my hands, maybe less time to film, less time to knit, probably, definitely, for sure. Although I have been doing very well knitting in the evenings. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling. I need to go. I hope you guys have a really, really great day, rest of the day wherever you are, and I will speak to you again hopefully very soon. Bye.